Welcome to your May 26th Power Hour Monday meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton. I understand we have a lot of viewers from all over Ontario, just agents and brokers and everything in between. So this is our opportunity.
There's some people from Newfoundland been watching us.
Yeah, all over Canada.
C21.
Yeah, so this is your Toronto, Ontario update. Clare will update you on news and what's happening in the world. I'll sort of share some trends and things in between, and Katelyn, of course, will teach us how to make money and how to talk to our clients. And I think we're going to focus on a lot of that for today as opposed to what's happening in the world. But you guys tell us, I think we had a holiday, right? It's been 2 weeks?
Last week was a holiday.
Yeah, so how has it been? Today is also a
Today's the
holiday?
American holiday.
Oh, okay, that's why it's so quiet. then.
Freedom.
No.
No. For me, it is.
For you it is. Does basketball pause on today or no?
No, there is basketball.
Of course there's basketball. There's a lot of sports happening right now, so that's fun. How's it been the last 2 weeks? Did anyone run open houses past 2 weekends? And how was it? And people online, you can share in the chat too. Sanik, how was your open house in Brampton?
6 groups.
6 groups total, and I think Sunday was more popular than Saturday. So I have seen that trend for the past couple weeks. I don't really know why.
Where was that one located?
Brampton.
Oh, that was the Brampton
About
one.
$2 million mark, so a little bit higher. You thought you were going to get nobody though, and the showings have been very quiet. So.
Oh, they have, eh?
Yeah.
You did a whole overhaul on that one too, getting it from
Everyone really liked it.
what it looked like before versus after.
Yeah, the before and after is actually really
Wild. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be a good case study when it sells.
Yeah. Yes, when it sells. Who else ran open houses? Anyone online?
Now I can see the chat. Okay,
Michael,
let's all go home now.
I know there was a lot of open houses because I got the emails all weekend. I'm trying to think of now who was on them. We had Dima, Sanjay,
Michael
Shiv, Michael Stewart or Smith?
Smith.
Smith. Which
Where
one did he
was
do?
his? Durham, I think.
It was Durham.
Durham.
Yes, we had 15.
Curious. How do you? Oh, this is in the WhatsApp chat. Oh.
No, this is me talking.
Oh, I was like, I'm looking in the chat. I'm not seeing anything. Read the wrong chat. Yeah.
Okay, Sanik's got the insider scoop then.
I was really curious what was going on with open houses.
Yeah. Okay, good.
It seemed like
Actually, you should be up here then just reporting to everybody instead of us talking back and forth.
I know it was quite a few. We had at least
Yeah.
10 or something at least each
Yeah, we
day.
did.
So,
Yeah.
so did you pick up any clients?
2 people asked for my business card. They were neighbors.
Did you get their contact information?
No.
Nice.
I don't like to ask people for their...
Sanik does the opposite of
It's okay. Yeah.
of us.
They'll call me if they need me.
It's just the karma sales approach.
The energy.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay.
So what's the general feel? Does everybody feel the market's buzzing along, or is the market stalling, or what? Give me some feedback here.
We got 31,440 options.
Sanik and I were doing that last 2 weeks ago. Was it 29,000 or something 2 weeks
It
ago?
was just creeping on 30.
It makes it confusing when they're talking about like a shortage of supply because there's 30,000 listings on the market right now that are available to rent
is
or
the
to buy.
time.
Ever, right? This is probably the most ever. Right?
And they're just hanging out. So I'm a little confused, and I think that's the word I'm going to use for how to describe the market right
I think
now.
the buyers are confused
I think
too.
before we
though.
were uncertain, and I think now we're just straight up confused. we're uncertain and confused, and
I think sellers feel like they're getting offended that they're getting lowball offers,
Which
but
we're
they're
gonna
just
talk about
affordable offers. It's just
it's market value.
market value.
These are not lowball offers. This is what the house is worth.
We did
And
an offer. There was like
yeah.
it was $790. We did $750.
Yeah.
He's like, this is completely disrespectful.
Whoa, only 40K?
Yeah.
Wait.
If it was like 100K, but did he sign back?
No.
This is driving me
He
nuts. We're gonna
terminated-
talk
he
about that
terminated
today.
the listing, like an idiot.
Terminated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like don't.
19 Convoy Drive. Taj Singh, you're an idiot.
Very, very slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
For buyers and sellers.
Buyers and sellers.
Because I know agents are going out and, well, you're going to talk about that, showings and stuff like that.
I see showings are happening. Yeah.
I have a condo in Mississauga, just step out to square one, not a single showing.
Condos I get.
But I have a 4-bedroom detached in Brantford. I had about 7 showings.
Yeah.
And the offer, I got 2 offers, but they were so freaking low. It's like, it's disgusting.
Did you sign
So
back?
the buyers expect
Because,
way.
It's a big thing. Did you sign
So-
back on them?
Yes, we did, and it's
Okay.
like, nope.
So I'm
they
just
just
curious
say
here.
no.
So I have a listing here, and people at home can't quite hear you there. So I just want to repeat a little bit here. So what are you listed at?
So we listed at $799.
799. It's a condo. What is it?
It's a 4-bedroom, double-door garage, detached, 2,500 square feet.
2,500 square foot house, single car garage, too.
Double garage.
Double car garage, and listed for how much again?
$799, but
Is it-
we expect about $850 or anything close to $850, which is like
Oh, so you're listed
$2,000.
below.
Even $840. But we got $780 and $790, and they don't want to budge beyond 8.
And like,
But of
why?
course, 2 years ago he paid $870 for it.
Okay.
So what he's doing well though.
Okay, so let's just recap again here. So he paid $870 for it 2 years ago. He's trying to get $799. You got offers for
No, they're trying to get $850. They're listed at
$850.
$799.
Sorry, and you got offers for $770.
I think that's a good offer.
Okay,
I think
so
that's a good
I
offer.
think so.
yeah.
I listed.
Especially if they just bought that.
1.650, I listed 1.250.
Yeah.
Also not 8 guys.
Especially if they bought 2 years ago, right? The market's.
Yeah.
The problem
gone.
is, it doesn't matter really what they want or what
Yeah.
they paid for it or what they're. The
So we're
market's
gonna-
going to be driven by the offers that you get.
Problem is trying to convince them.
I know.
that
That's
this
what we're
is
going to talk
That's
about.
what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, so-
convincing them because
Yeah.
even I have a condo in Newcastle. We got an offer last week. We were 20,000 away. You know, I said, okay, let's go down 10, and they would come up 10. And my client says, no. I said, you're going to lose big time. It's going to sit for months. We've had it a month. One offer, 3 showings. Let's work with this one offer.
Yeah.
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 And it's a struggle.
It is
trying
a
to
struggle.
Convince the client,
It is.
sellers,
Yeah.
that listen, yes, you're gonna lose, and all I'm hearing, well, I'm gonna be losing. Well, you're gonna be freaking losing more.
Why are they
Yes, sir.
selling?
He bought it as an investment 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's the capital.
So it's just a bad investment.
Yeah.
The first offer is the best offer.
The first offer is the best offer, and I'm seeing it over and over and over right now.
Yeah,
Oh, an offer date where it took 3 days for me to get a better
Yes.
offer. Like going,
Yeah, that's normal with
Yeah.
the offer nights right now.
no.
With someone
So,
different?
so people from home, so we had an offer date, and the offer date came and passed, but you still worked it, then you finally got something going, or?
I had 5 offers on the night, but it was kind
full
of
detached
this
condo.
week and the day after I got another one, and it kept like dragging on for 3 days. So in 3 days we finally got a better offer.
yeah.
Yeah, everything's
I've
taking
seen that
time.
a lot.
Fighting each other too. So.
Yeah, I think it's common for a deal to take anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks almost, just back and forth, back and forth. Yeah.
And then we found out there's a
Let's,
lawsuit against it on the board.
Oh, good.
There's a whole separate
Perfect.
meeting over here. I
Well,
can't repeat it,
we got-
unfortunately.
I think that's a low price for Mississauga for this kind of house. 2,500 square feet, 800,000, that's low.
We think it's low, but the buyers think that's the price.
Yeah, but
This
we
is
don't
what
want
happened.
it
See,
also.
this is why it's important for you to understand what's going on in different marketplaces when you're listing properties in different areas. You gotta know what's going on, so.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't Pickering.
Yeah, Pickering, yeah, great.
So we're-
2 years ago, what time? Is it between March to August or when? I mean,
I don't know. So we're going to talk about this later on in this meeting here. We're going to talk about pricing because I must sign at least 1 or 2 price reductions every day.
Yeah.
Cancellation,
cancel, relist.
Cancel, relists, or changes, stuff like that. So these discussions are going on, and I think what's happening here is that somehow we can't get our own opinions involved. We're just the messengers. So if your client thinks that it's not enough money for the house, we're just the messengers here. But here's the facts, right? So what I've been doing, Nelson, I'm not sure what Nelson's doing. I get asked, what's this property worth? And I look to see what's available. I don't really care what's sold.
So it's
And
changing.
my idea is that if you're listed for $1.2 million and I've got a buyer for $1.2 million, what can I buy for $1.2 million? And if I can buy this for 1.2, why would I buy yours for 1.2 when yours is half the house?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you looked at that, Nelson, you look at what's and you're more and more, because what happened, what sold last year, what sold 2 years ago, what sold
That's
Even last
gone.
month.
doesn't matter. And I'm starting to now, when I go do my searches, I'm starting from April 1st. What's sold since April 1st?
Yeah, like
and,
3
most, and
weeks.
most of them, none.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And they've been on the market for 40, 50 days and nothing sold. So what happened in the past makes no difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's going on today?
So
And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we used to bug you. What's the last sold? What's the last sold? Like, show me, sort it. And now
And
we're,
not 6 months ago sold, it's last week
So our
sold.
strategies change. What's available right now? Sort it by highest to lowest. What's the pool available to that client? And you've got to be the lowest percent in that list.
The best.
Somebody's just explaining to me now they have a condominium come up for sale, and the condominium was for sale last year at X price, and want to bring the condominium for sale today at the same price. Meanwhile, the market's changed. Not only did it not sell in the fall, it hasn't. They want to bring it in today, and then you look at today, you can get a house or the condominium for the price the client wants. You can get the same price. You can get something with another bedroom or another parking spot. So.
Yeah. No, it's even
So people aren't looking at the facts, or they don't understand the facts, or we're not communicating the facts.
I saw something scary too. I had an agent tell me that they had a client that wanted to list 6 months ago. They said, nope, wait for the spring market because it's going to be better. And now they're here. So we got to be careful about telling clients to wait as well because we don't know.
For sure.
So we got to be careful in the advice we're giving clients. If they're ready to list today, list today based on what we know.
What's the when somebody asks you when's a good time to sell? What's the answer?
Yesterday.
This week.
Don't be giving them your crystal ball. Your crystal ball
Like
right
you
now.
can't.
Oh, this is not a good time. We should wait a couple of months.
Yep.
ago.
And now we're all like crap because we thought the spring market
That's what
was going to be good.
months ago, but there's so many more listings now.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and we did tell people that in the spring market, it's a great time because people are selling, but now we got 31,000 listings that you're competing
Yeah, we should almost
against,
replay
so-
what we did in February on YouTube because we talked about this very thing.
Yeah.
Get on the market now. By the time you get to spring, you're going to be competing, and now we're here.
3-bedroom, 2-parking condo for $770.
Yeah.
They paid $875,000
Yep.
at Bailey.
And they took the loss, right?
Yeah. How many
They paid
square feet?
$875.
How many square feet?
Just over 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
This is
Overlooking the lake.
Yeah. In Pickering.
Why were they selling?
I don't know. It's my buyer bought it.
this is
Oh, okay,
celebration.
okay.
This is celebration.
Oh, okay.
But just sold it.
When they bought it?
5 years, 2019.
Pre-construction, probably.
Pre-con.
2019.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the price.
Does anybody else have clients? Anybody else have clients like that? They bought pre-construction, now they don't know what to do, or nobody here?
Yes, we do. They're here. Yeah.
Let me just get into the stats here, and then we'll get
Yeah.
into what we want to talk about. Right. So right now we've got 23 days in May. We've got 31,473 active listings as of last night. How much is today?
32,440.
32.
It did hit 32?
30,
31.
31,442. So about the same.
Yeah.
So 31,500. There's 17,000 are freeholds, 13,000 are condos. Overall, vacant properties, 34% of all properties are vacant that are for sale right now. Broken down, it's 26% of freeholds are vacant and 43% of condominiums are vacant.
That's huge.
That's a big number, right? Sales themselves for the first 25 days are minus 16% from last year. For overall, freeholds are down 11% and condominiums are down 25% from this time last year.
So finally, we're seeing that number
All right.
increase.
So if you're not getting any appointments or showings on your condominium, there's
Neither
maybe
is
a
anyone
reason
else.
for it.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
If I compare that to April sales, April 25th sales, we had they're down about 6%, 2%. Minus 6% for condos, 2% overall, and freeholds about the same. So about the same pace for freeholds for the first 25 days in April versus the first 25 days this year. Properties that sold for over asking, if that's an option too, then 25% of all properties sold for over asking. Breaking that down, 29% of the freeholds sold for over asking, and only 15% of condominiums sold for over asking. So it's sort of the condominiums are definitely struggling, right? Leases.
Some list strategy.
Leases,
here.
we only have 17,000 active leases. Broken down at 7,000 are freeholds, 10,000 are condos. Vacant, the 53% of all properties for lease are vacant.
Wow.
55% of the freeholds are vacant. 52% of condominiums are vacant. So actually more properties for freehold are vacant than there are condos. Different, eh? Leases are actually up 16% from last year. Both freeholds are 15% and condos are 17%. And we're down about 9%, we're down about 3% from last year. So condominiums are definitely having an effect. Units themselves are definitely down. May of last year was probably what? May of last year would have been the highest month of the whole year. Sales.
Last year was very hot market.
Yeah, so May last year we had 7,200 sales for the entire month,
So still April was the highest. Versus.
14,000 listings.
and April was actually the highest. So yeah, so 7,300 sales in April, 7,200 sales in May. So sales for April, May, that's the spring market.
How many listings?
I didn't write that down, so I'm not sure.
17,000.
So you're asking me or telling me? And now we have, how many?
31,000 and
Right.
5,000 sales.
So the months of inventory has definitely changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first thing that we're going to talk about when you're pricing your listings is your month of inventory. I've had agents that on the weekend ask me, well, the property hasn't sold for 2 weeks, what's wrong? Right?
It's a
You got those
staging.
two, Nelson? No? So I ask you, what's the average days in the market right now?
45 days.
Anybody? Anybody?
32 days.
Anybody? No, overall, just we're just talking.
Overall GTA.
30, I would say 30.
So it's 30 days, right?
Yeah.
And what about the cancel relist? How many days in the market?
Hopefully less.
Eh? It's probably about 40.
Yeah,
Right.
it should be. It should be
Our
21.
rule is
That's our rule of thumb. Yeah.
All right. So if it hasn't sold in 2 weeks, and only one property out of 5 are selling, and yours hasn't sold in 2 weeks, then so you got to figure this out as a strategy.
We want you to not be scared of taking listings. I've heard a lot of agents say, "I'm not even going to bother taking listings. I'm just going to focus on buyers." That's not the message. We don't want you to be scared to take
You just have
listings.
to be realistic
We just
with
have
your
to
client.
price them, and we have to be able to have hard conversations with people, right? The listings will sell. Things do still sell. It's just not
Might
the
take
same.
30 days.
So just curious, outside the box, then Carter will talk. Why is the market slow?
My market is low.
Yeah. Anybody?
People don't have jobs.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Right.
Psychological.
There's no motivation.
I'm going for uncertainty. Uncertainty. You
For
gotta be-
many factors.
In words like that, people are losing their jobs. Which industry is losing jobs though? I think it's
Manufacturing.
Is it the auto? So you guys tell me, is it IT or is it auto or both?
Both.
Both, because they work
Yeah.
I think both.
Has anybody here had any clients directly been laid off?
Yes.
They have?
Yes.
Okay, so directly, okay. So people are concerned, right? And this is a problem in 1990 with the same problem. It was job security was a problem
Yep.
back then.
Yeah, and the ones that haven't lost their jobs yet are wondering if they're next. So they're not going to make that big move.
And
they're not
Yeah, that's true.
so the contract
But
But most of these
jobs
people
are-
that have jobs, they're not staying unemployed either. Like they're
Yep.
going after to go find jobs
Yes.
somewhere
So-
else.
so
Like
us-
I don't
so
see a
us-
lot of people just sitting around being unemployed though.
Yeah, so us as salespeople, we're not looking for those people, are we?
No.
Right? Because it's only 6% of the people are unemployed, 94% are employed.
Yeah. A lot of our clients right now are
Right.
driven by first-time homebuyers that have stable jobs that feel okay, that are trying to get into the market. It's less of the upgrading. Those people are more cautious. They're waiting a little bit.
Like I printed this out a couple weeks ago. It says U.S. announces trade deals with China after 2 days of negotiation. That was 2 weeks ago. Where'd that go? Out the window? Right? And it seems like he's changing his mind every day. Every day is something different. I mean, the EU's 10%, and now it's 50%, and it's 10% because they're not playing this game. It just goes on and on and on. So I think once we get some security, once we get some stability, decisions.
But then we still have to get past the confusing. How do you?
Right. Well, then
you know.
but the problem we have to deal today, and we'll talk about that. So that's fine.
We can even talk about it right now.
Want to get right into pricing?
I
and
think we
stuff
should.
like that?
I don't know. Like, what's?
I'll let you. I've got some articles, but
All right, so
See
who's
how you
got
wanted to
listings
face
right now
this.
aren't selling? Okay. And you're telling me that they're not selling because of why?
Price too high. Not price. Sales price.
Because the sellers want more.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what the market dictates.
Yeah.
and do they want more because they bought recently, or they're just being selfish? Like, did these people buy 30 years ago and they're making money, or are these people that
debt.
need money?
They have debt and they need the money.
Okay,
That's what I'm.
so they're going for prices that they need, not
Honest
necessarily.
with the seller.
Yeah.
So I listed a home, they bought one 650, 133 square foot. She says she want to sell. I said, only come if you talk about $1.2 million. She said, I'm okay. So I listed for 1.2.
If they said above that, you're like, I'm not coming.
I'm not coming.
Yeah.
I said, 1.650. You're out of your mind, you're somebody's food.
Yep.
She said, we need to start shift tomorrow. I listed for 1.250, 133. We're renovating somewhat, like it's not a good location, and like spending $20,000, and then goes in the market.
So having honest conversations with the sellers is super
Honest with the
important.
seller, otherwise just go to your own agent.
Yeah.
Problem is us, not the seller.
So do you guys have a script when when you have a client that's overpriced,
On the market.
on the market, has to sell, over leveraged? The fact is you can't get what they want just because they want it, right? The fact is the market's a market. So what is it, the tools that you're using to convince them to make an educated decision?
One of the ones we've used in every market is we prep them in that very first appointment right before we get ready to say, we're going to watch the market in 21 days or 21 showings, whichever comes first, and then we're going to have a conversation. So I had a client on the weekend called me and said, hey, Carly, we're approaching 21 days now. Is this when we need to have a conversation about reducing the price? Yeah. So I had already prefaced it that I'm going to have a conversation. We're not even close to 21 showings. The time is flying, the showings are not. And so we're going to get ready to do a price reduction. We got to set it up in that first meeting of what your process is going to be. And when you have structure around it, they'll respect that because you've kind of prepped them for what the next conversation is going to be. We heard another one from Wayne that was sort of new. If we don't have any showings in the first 5 days, we need to look at the price.
His was no showings, we're going to do a 10% reduction. If we have showings but no offers, maybe we'll do a 5% price reduction. So he's going by percent. That might not even work if you're way overpriced. That 10%, 5% may not matter, but we need to have these conversations that are like, if this is the scenario, we're dropping the price. And it's nothing personal. It's just...
And we're not talking about reducing the price today. Right now, we're going to
try.
We're going to try, which we know doesn't work, and we'll probably show you some graphs about why that won't work as well. But it's just setting the structure and the boundaries around when that next conversation is going to be. So whatever that strategy is for you.
Hopefully we're having those conversations up front, but...
Well, no, people are scared to. I think people are scared to give bad news. Do you feel like you don't want to be the bearer of bad news? You want to be 2021 where you're like, we got 10 offers and, we like that energy. We don't like to give bad news, but we're in a sales job. And I think this market probably is more realistic than what we've seen in the past couple of years. And part of our job is to have hard, direct conversations. It's not always rosy.
Does your thing share screen? Can you?
Yeah, so I'm going to share screen. So do you want to do scripts or go straight to how to price homes? What would you guys like to know? I have a Mike Ferry script in front of me. Do you guys want to know different ways to price the homes first? Price? Okay. Okay, so there's a few different ways on how to price properties. So if you guys are doing CMAs, it's not just your simple CMA anymore, right? Like we need to be looking at multiple different ways to price the property to get that pricing strategy. So it's not just all about the CMAs. So I know Claire wanted to talk about
I want to talk about resources.
Different resources, different tools that you guys have in your back pocket that isn't just going on Realm looking at recent sales. There's a bunch of other stuff. I think, are we able to get this on the screen?
It's warming up.
Santa?
It's coming slowly.
Oh, it is on?
It's just warms.
Oh wait, do I have to click the toggle? Sorry, I've got it online for my online people. Now I just gotta wait to get it up for you guys. So this is one of the strategies. Not the most accurate strategy, but one of them. Okay, we got it up there. Okay, so this one is house price index. You guys have all used house price index? It can be, sometimes it over evaluates homes, but again, it's just a data point that you're gonna talk about with your sellers. So what you're gonna do, I think they changed the link, but this would be how you log into, I want to say Stratus, but it's Realm.
I would call it the PropTech homepage. Before, this is what your Stratus homepage used to be.
Yeah.
The link is now OntarioMLP.ca. I believe it's connected to
I think you can still do
old links.
TorontoMLS.net, same thing, but don't just skip to Realm to find this. So what you're going to do is go to your homepage. You'll see this button called MLS HPI Dashboard. What it's going to bring you to, it's an interactive tool. We used to have to do this manually and like do some math. I think you've got the house price index where we've done it manually.
I still like to do it a bit manual. I don't know, my brain yeah.
So what you can do, so they've got a bunch of stuff. You've got, I don't know what perf over time is.
Performance.
Mm-hmm. So you can do performance over time. I like percentage by time frame personally. And then there's also price estimate. I'm going to go through a couple of them. Let's just do percentage by time frame. So typically what you're going to do, I'm just going to do this for fun. Let's just say, I think we're on Toronto is where Durham. This one can go by, let's just say we're doing a 2-story single family home, detached. And let's just pick an area. Let's just say we're going to do Durham. And then you go to apply. So what you can see here is it's going to give you percentages from a month ago, just generic pricing. It's not going to go based off if they renovated, none of that stuff. But what you can tell your clients when they're asking you for stats updates, you can say 2-story single family homes in Durham have gone up in price by 0.1%. So like we're about the same as a month ago. You can say 6 months ago, we've actually gone up 2.5% or 2.6%. From 12 months ago is a different story. So we're actually down 3.5% compared to last year. So if you're looking at comparables from last year, you can take that comparable, drop the price 3.5%, and that may give you a guesstimate of where you may be sitting at that house. If they bought 3 years ago, we're down 20% in prices. So if they bought that house in 2 years ago, you can go and say, okay, you guys bought 3 years ago, the prices have actually dropped 20%. So I don't know where you're seeing this getting $100,000 profit. You're actually losing money if you sell today. So these are the types of the numbers that you guys can give people, and you can go based off, maybe they bought 10 years ago. Take what they bought it for, add 112% to that price that they bought it for. So that's kind of where you can kind of get this. It's not very specific, but again, it's just a data point that you're going to use. Another thing you guys can do is price estimate. This one's a little bit more pertained to that property. So let's just say this one, you can actually take what they bought it for and when. Oh, they have so many boards on here now. I don't know. Let's just make up one.
Dunbar, oh no.
Do where? Under
Liverpool.
Is Pickering on there?
Anybody here use a house price index? There's two ways of doing it, right? You can do what Katelyn's doing, where they have they actually give you numbers
Yeah.
here, or you can actually bring out the actual report itself.
Yeah. So that percentage one I usually use at a listing presentation just to talk about how much prices have gone up and down over the years. The price estimate is just something else that you guys can use. So let's just say that someone bought a house in Pickering. I want to go back to like 2021. Does it go that way? Yeah. Let's just say they bought in May 2021. Let's just say they bought it for $1.5 million in Pickering in May 2021. What it will do is it will give you a house price. It says rural Pickering, but you'll get the point. They sold it for 1.5 in May. Today, it would have been maybe 1.561. So it's saying that in rural Pickering, prices have actually gone up since 2021. That's not everywhere.
That's not right.
That I think it's rural Pickering because
Well,
it's the
rural
newer
Pickering-
units. Let me pick a different area that's not
There's
great.
two properties sold.
Yeah, there's not that many data points.
Rural's
in
not the
rural
best
Pickering.
one that I could have picked because it should be down.
You do have to remember too with HPI, it doesn't always tell the story
Exactly.
you're looking to tell. How I would use it in the example she showed before where Durham was down. Yeah, well, so for example, Market Watch would have told you that prices are only down 4%. So if you have a client in Durham, you might want to say, well, it's actually 20% from last year. So I would use, you have to use the data points in a way that you want to tell a story. If it doesn't tell your story, you're not going to use that.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Piece of
These are
information.
just data points. You may just see that this doesn't match with the story you're trying to go with, and you just don't talk about it. So like this one, let's just say they bought in February 2024. It's saying it's worth 1.228 today. Even then, I still don't believe that. Where's a good one? I don't even know. These are not going the way that I was hoping that they would go.
Well, that
Why
kind of
would you
makes
go to
sense
Brampton?
though, because
Go
the
to
seller
Brampton.
might tell you, well, I've owned it
Yeah,
for
so-
5 years.
Like these guys are all making money. My whole thing is to say you're not.
Brampton, Vales.
Peterborough?
You've got,
There you
the
go.
idea. You've got the
Okay, Picar, north, south,
No, man, Scarborough's in.
north, 2-story. When would we have bought it?
I would say 2022 or 2023.
Okay,
It's been 22.
February.
Just averages.
Okay, May 2022. So there you go. If this person, let's just for example, they paid $1.2 million in Peterborough in May 2022, today it would be worth $980,000. That's a better story. That's kind of where I was going for this. 1.2. So like, these are just, again, data points for you to choose. I find that HPI still kind of over-evaluates a lot of properties, so we don't use these quite a bit.
So I'm thinking, okay, here's a scenario here. We have a listing here and we have a client that the property's not selling. So this is one thing we're going to show them. If it works in your favor, you paid this amount for in this date here, and this is what the house price index says it's worth X amount of dollars.
Yep.
So that's one
data point.
set you're going to look at.
Okay. What's your other data point?
Next data point, I say.
I'm going to unshare.
And I picked a listing here.
I'll keep sharing.
I'm not going to.
Why is it doing
I'm not going to say what the property is, but I just picked a property here just for samples. So now I'm going to go to my Toronto S. I'm going to go to my ListTrac.
Oh, right.
Is anybody familiar with ListTrac?
ListTrac is what replaced, I forget what it was called before that, DDF, where it has your statistics on your listing and where the views are coming from and the traffic.
There it is. Okay, so ListTrac.
So ListTrac, when you have a listing, you're going to be able to go to this ListTrac, you're going to be able to go to your listing, you're going to be able to see what traffic or how many eyeballs have looked at your listing on MLS.
So you'll go to your
not just
report.
MLS, on Realtor.ca.
And Zillow.
Zillow, where it might be. So the example I have here that this realmmlp.ca was the toppest one. Realtor.ca was there, Zillow was there, Treb Matrix was there.
So it tells you all the different views that you're getting on websites of your property, and obviously you can see most of them are coming from Realtor.ca. I've got one of our live listings on there.
So, but the purpose of this printout is to show your client that you've done your job.
Showing that people are actually seeing it and they're still not making an offer on it.
You've done your job. Your job is to expose the property to as many people as possible, to market the property to as many people as possible. It's the client's job to make the property available, make sure the property's clean, and make sure that the property's priced right. So this is another report you can show your client. This is what I'm doing to market your property.
So you've got 12,000 or 1,200 views, mostly on Realtor.ca. And you can see at the top here, you can even show your clients that most of the action's happening in the first 2 days, first week, and it just progressively is getting lower and lower and lower. And now we went from up here, let's say, oh my gosh, 135 views on Realtor.ca to 10 per day.
So part of your script will be when we first listed, we had almost 200 views, and now 2 weeks later, 21 days later, we only have 10 views. So something's with the price.
So it's just another data point to bring to your. You can only see your own listings on there. Yeah.
So again, you want to print this out as part of your presentation, Mr. Seller here. You're doing you're readjusting the price, right? Next thing you can look at is BrokerBay. How many appointments have you had for the property? How many appointments of those have been refused or canceled? Refused means the seller's not cooperating. Has anybody had those? Nelson, you had those?
Or the seller's not letting them in?
We get complaints from the seller, I want to cancel my listing. Why? Your agent's not selling my property. Why is that? Well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, why is that? And we check it out, and they decline half the showing. So, I mean, we got... So
the kid's sick, I don't know, a bunch of stuff will happen.
And they forget, too, right? Oh, I didn't do it, and then they forget, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little printout that you can do for BrokerBay to print out how many showings you've had online. So if you had 0 showings, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's always going to be price, by the way. That's the answer. If it's not selling, it's price. So we just got to figure out how to educate the client.
Scripts, right? One agent gave me a script that he uses. I thought was pretty good. And you've got a client that says, "Well, my house is better than the neighbor's house because it has this, has this, has this, has this." Right? And he says, "Okay, great. How many agents out there? There's 70,000 agents out there looked at this property." Right? Not all of them have somebody for your particular neighborhood, your particular property in that particular neighborhood, but we still got lots of agents. Lots of agents have seen lots of houses, and with their clients, they've seen lots of houses. So an agent, on average, you guys tell me, on average, how many properties would you show as an agent to a client before they bought one? Just a number, just a random number. What?
10?
10. 10. And how many properties would that buyer have seen before they purchased the house?
100.
Hopefully within age, probably the same number, right? And then they've all looked at your property or not looked at your property, and they've decided something about your property is not quite fit. Now let me ask you, Mr. Seller, how many properties have you seen in the last 30 days?
No, I don't want to do showing results.
All right? The answer would be 0. Meanwhile, the agent and the buyers have seen hundreds of properties. You've seen none, but you seem to know more about the value of your property than they do.
Ooh. It's true.
You follow me there? So so you're sitting in your castle telling us what it's worth. Meanwhile, you haven't seen any single property, and everybody else has seen all these other properties. And this is property's not selling. Okay, this is hard talk, right? So
How do you say it though in a tone of voice that
you
doesn't
gotta
sound mean?
put it in words. You gotta put it in your own
You can't be
words.
Do you want to make
Right?
fairy script
Yeah.
for price reductions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sanic. I made a terrible mistake when I listed your home. Can I explain?
You have a price reduction.
When I listed your home, I wasn't strong enough on the price. So I wrote down 4 solutions. Okay?
Is it reduce?
1, reduce the price tonight by 10%.
Good.
Great. Add an additional 1 to 2% for the selling agent.
I don't like that one.
Fantastic. Extend the listing agreement to its original term. I don't know what that one is. I don't know what that one means. Terrific. I'll have to give you the listing back. Sanic, I know this is tough. Which of the 4 is better for you?
I'll take the listing.
You'll take the listing
take it
back?
back?
Okay.
I would say, I'm gonna sue you, say it's your fault.
You can't sue me for that. You can't. So even if they say that, be like, go for it.
Contract doesn't say.
Contract doesn't say I guarantee a
I'm
price.
going to sell this house by a certain amount of time.
Yeah. It's always our fault, but we just have to kind of take that and just let it fly. Otherwise, we'll go insane in this business.
Sometimes these scripts are fabricated.
Is this your script? This is Mike Ferry's script. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, based on my knowledge, it seems you're still the highest bidder for your home. We need to go ahead and reduce the price by.
Oh, you're the highest bidder?
You're the highest bidder of this home, of your own home. But we need to reduce the price by $50,000 tonight. Hi, Sanic. I'm calling in with your weekly update. In the last 7 days, we've had 2 showings and 0 offers. As we've discussed, it's time to reduce the price so we can create some activity and receive some showings. Is that okay?
10%.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning we must move on now, 1 meaning we'll move only if we get our price. Where would you rate yourself in terms of your motivation to sell this home? Great, we'll reduce tonight.
Motivated.
But I don't like this whole adding the percent for the commission.
I think that was a thing to say that's not an option. The only option of the 4 was to reduce the price.
No one wants to pay
No one's
more.
going to do any of those other 3
That's the point.
options. That's the
Some
point.
people are getting convinced to do this.
I know.
I did have a friend that honestly just got convinced to pay 2.75. We'll see if that strategy works.
I don't
That's
think it
a
will.
East York strategy.
My question to the whole pricing strategy. Yes, you convinced them to reduce the price,
Yeah.
but you haven't convinced them to reduce their expectation of that sale price.
I think if we do a good job though at explaining at the very beginning that we're going to be reducing the price, they get to trust you at some point where they're just like, yep, you did tell me this. You tell me what to do. Because eventually, at the beginning, they're kind of the experts. Eventually, they do lean into you and they just tell me how much.
I think you have to bring them back to their motivation too. So I had a conversation on the weekend and I said, you tell me, do you have a goal right now to move right away, or do you have time? You tell me. If you have time, we'll hang out at this price for as long as you want.
And they usually say they do
No,
and then
they say, no, I want to move. I said, if you want to move, I'm going to give you the price to get you to that goal. And then you have to play on their situation. In my situation, she's buying in a totally different market. So they're going to win on the buy side. But depending on their situation, you have to remind them, what is that goal? How do we get you closer to that goal? If you don't have a goal to move right away and you have time on your side, we can't force that. I would get a new listing. Well, let that one hang out. But you've got to go back to what their motivation is and help them. I think as agents, like some of us went to business school and we learned to make decisions. And I think clients right now need our help to make a decision. They're very confused. There's so much stuff going on. They need our help to make it very simple. Do you want to upgrade your home? Yes or no? Do you want to downgrade? Do you want to make a move? Let's focus on that. They can spend 2 years looking for a house if we don't help them make a decision. And that's going to drive them crazy, I think, if we don't help them. So you got to break it down.
So this one's a Tom Ferry article, just saying your listing isn't selling, now what? So they're saying to earn the right to request a price reduction, it's essential to maintain ongoing, consistent communication with the seller regarding the current market conditions, such as any new listings that pop up, any price reductions you guys see, any sold. So as you guys have a listing, we should be like every day sending them an update on what we're seeing, it's just facts. You're not giving any emotions. You're just saying, yep, your neighbor just sold for this. This guy just popped up. This is what I'm seeing. And you're just letting them know.
An easy way to do that is just set up a realm search. We call it listing market watch, and just set up a search for new listings in their area so they know when it comes up and when it sells conditional.
They usually know anyways.
They'll usually
they got
know
House Sigma.
Yeah.
They said you can only reasonably ask for a price reduction if the seller is fully informed about these factors. So as long as you guys are giving them those updates, begin by requesting a meeting to review the process, walk them through all the figures, and provide a thorough market update. So maybe every week we have to give them an actual sit-down conversation. And then you're going to say, so here's what we have to decide. Right now, the agents in the marketplace, the overall market, and most importantly, the buyers have rejected our price. What would you like to do? Then it says, shut up and let them speak. So let the sellers come up with a solution. Usually they'll think and then they'll have something. And if you've gained their trust, they will likely seek your advice. And then at that point you say, I strongly suggest that we adjust the price to match what the buyers are prepared to pay in this market, and then propose your new price. So just tell them what your price is.
Yeah.
We have to be strong enough to give them the
You
price.
need to tell them supply and demand.
Yeah, but we have to give them a price, right?
There's 6 homes for sale.
Yeah,
One is going to sell. Which one?
not yours.
The lowest price.
The lowest price house.
Only the lowest price.
Yeah.
They also want you to be on their team, so
Yeah.
you have to be really careful. You set a good script, so when the price doesn't work, you say, I agreed with that price. I believed in it. We
Did
put it
not
to the
work.
market. The market didn't agree with you and I. So let's try
Our
another
price.
price to get them to agree with us. I agreed with you. We did that. It did not work. We're not perfect.
But then they're going to say, what price do you suggest? And you better have a price ready and be very confident in that price.
Yeah.
Don't just say, I don't know, maybe 20,000. Be like, yeah, I think you should drop it $40,000 and make it this. And you have to be very bold with that statement and then shut up, like he says.
There's certain.
You can't be winging.
Sir had suggested in one of his videos was bring a few other professionals in
Yep.
through the property
Yep. I like that
and
too.
take their advice and formulate a new
Yep.
yeah.
That's another one of those pricing things. You can get feedback from either the buyer's agents that have gone through it or bring in some colleagues. The other one they suggested actually on that Sirhan topic was actually hiring an appraiser to come in and get a professional appraiser to do one and be like, this is what the appraisers are saying. We should maybe price around here. So paying extra money.
And be careful. Be careful. Be careful too with what you're saying out there. There's little words out there you can say out there to protect yourself, right? So if they come to you and say, "Well, you said it was your price," is at the time I thought that was a good decision.
Yeah, you can be
At the
wrong.
time, I believed in myself. I believed in that price.
At the time, that was the right decision. But things have changed since then, right?
The buyers do not agree with us.
I want to get more into stats. So you guys are talking about right brain people. I'm still going on the left
Yeah,
brain.
okay.
You go to the left brain.
The accountants, right? Has anybody done Habistat yet? Anybody looked at Habistat?
It's pretty new this year.
Is it on here too?
Going back to your anybody go to the TREB meeting last week?
Yeah.
TREB meeting, yeah. So they voted down by the way the
bylaw.
the bylaw allowing you to pay your payments in 2 installments. That got voted down. Only got voted down because they rolled it into a funny thing. They wanted the board of directors to make decisions on our behalf regards to amounts of dues and things like that. And then they also said they want to allow you to pay it in 2 installments. So that was one question. It should have been 2 questions. So it got voted down like 60% to 40%.
They dangled a carrot a little bit. The carrot was, hey, you can now split your fees in 2. to do that, you need to approve this bylaw, which will also allow X, Y, Z. And everyone didn't really mind the split fees, but nobody wants to make decisions without us having voting power. So it wasn't communicated very well. It didn't go through. They are still going to be working on some stuff, so don't be surprised when more stuff comes, but hopefully they'll be reworking it in a way that makes sense and communicating in a way that doesn't feel like they're dangling some sort of secret in front of you.
So during the meeting, somebody said, I wasn't there, but during the meeting, somebody said they're $7 million in debt for last year. And then we said, why are you in debt? Because of all the services that they provide. And everybody just said, well, get rid of all the services. I'll ask again, does anybody use Habitat?
This is the first time I've actually opened
Right?
it.
Does anybody use Habitat?
This is one of the services.
These are the $7 million you're paying for, okay? Anyways, Habitat.
Do you want to direct me on here?
Well, no, I don't. I just did one. So we've got different options. So one here says that it says analyze a building. Let's say you got a condominium that you're selling. This is I just threw in 1 Bloor Street East just to see what it would tell me. And so there are currently 23 active listings at 1 Bloor Street East, Toronto, CO8, with the latest listed on April 30th. Between January and April, there have been 59 sales in 1 Bloor. The most common price for these was $1 million, so $1,250,000. Highest price 2.1, lowest price 6.3, median price $1,055,000. I don't know if it tells you anything about, but that's sort of it gives you a breakdown. It doesn't really tell you anything other than what the facts are there. But there's another chart here that talks about when properties sell, how often do they sell? Like, do they sell within the first day, the first month, the second week, the fourth week, so on and so forth? And basically, how many properties sell the same day is 0.17%. So it's hardly anything. So that includes the multiple offers. Sold in the first week 4%, second week 9%, and then the fourth week 8%. It starts going down after that. So you know that you're going to get the most activity in the first couple of weeks. And clients say to you, can't we just tar the price?
For 2 days.
That's like the death, right?
Yeah.
Want me to carry on?
Yep.
Okay. So we've got these charts here. We've done these charts as well.
I got these up here, actually.
And I want to show this one first. Do you have
Which
the
one?
activity?
Oh, no. You go for that one.
Okay.
What's...
So we all know, I don't know if we can show this on the camera or how
Just
you
have
want.
it in front of here, maybe. Remember, the camera's here.
Yeah, but is she on, is the camera live or what's the camera?
It's on that camera.
For people online, we'll see. People here have to look physically here.
All right. Do you guys, can you see that online? Can you see it online too, though?
I can kind of do...
I'm getting this. I'm getting this. Sure.
I'm going to stop sharing, just so no one gets confused.
That's what I thought. So we can show that, right?
This is how they see it online.
Oh, sure, sorry.
What's that?
Put it right in front of the camera.
Here, Santa, you want to put it in front of the lens so it covers our face.
You can see it. No, too close.
There, yeah,
So I
perfect.
learned this from, I don't know if Shiv still does this or not.
What's that?
Used to have a yellow pad of paper, yellow notepad, blank. And rather than showing somebody this type of graph, you'd write it out and do it by hand so their eyeballs follow you.
It's a sales technique.
It's a sales
yeah.
technique. So when you take a listing, you've got time and you've got activity. So when you take a listing, you're going to get the most activity in the first week, 2 weeks, probably days. That's going to be the most eyeballs you're going to see that property.
It's not hypothetical. This is a fact. This is like proven over and over.
The fact is sold. And the reason why it's this is because the buyers have already seen every other property that's on the market. They've already seen everything that's in their price range, in their neighborhood, whatever it might be. They've already seen it. So a new property comes on the market, bang, that's when you get the most activity.
Yeah.
Your client says to you, can't we just try?
At my high price.
So yes, you can try, but during the height, when you get the most eyeballs, the most activity, if you're not priced within the proper thing, you're going to lose that opportunity, and all those buyers are going to disappear, and now we're going to be stuck in the trenches with everybody else.
Yeah.
So pricing a property is critical at the very beginning.
Yeah.
How much would you pay when you see the properties up for sale for 2 weeks?
You
Would
would.
you pay over ask?
All right.
That's the question to ask your seller.
Or the property's been in the market for two months. The buyer says, "What's wrong with it?" Right?
Exactly.
There must be something wrong with it.
What's wrong with it?
Why isn't everyone else
What's wrong
buying
with
it?
it?
There must be something wrong with it. Photos look great, but 2 months, there must be something wrong. Yeah.
We need to sell the property first week. If it doesn't sell, we have to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like this one.
Now let's say they want to overprice it.
This goes back to what I was saying when someone says, I have lots of time.
So they want to price it at the market, or they want to price it at 5%, 10%, 20% over the value.
And they say, we have time, don't worry.
That we have time. So that graph will show you if you're 20% over asking, then time's going to go to months, not days.
So you'll sell.
So you're
in
going
6 months.
So you're going to be doing showings. The one showing you get every week, you're going to have to get the house all ready to rush out for that one showing.
So again, I would hope that you understand what I'm doing here so you can actually do these sketches, or I guess you can get a copy of this.
And I think you have to pick one or two that work for you. We're not saying use all of these things, but pick a couple. If you're right-brained and you want to draw and that helps you kind of explain the analytics, go that way. Or if you like having a PDF of visual graphics and you like to explain that, pick what works for you, but you need to have your own toolkit of scripts and tools to show these guys to help you sell your listings and not be scared to take listings.
So reasons for overpricing. Over improvement, need.
Actually, hold on, go back. This is a good point. So we get this question a lot for over improvement. So a house has been on the market and now all of a sudden they want to paint and they want to renovate and they do all this, but then they say, okay, we did all this, now we want to increase the price by $200,000. So how do you decide what gives ROI on improvements? Like what do you tell people right now if they need to redo the floors? In 2021, we were saying don't do anything, put it on the market, let it go. In this market, we are saying spend a little bit to make it look show ready because people are comparing yours to other ones, and I think it does need to look a little nicer than what you needed to in the past. But if you doing the renovations isn't necessarily going to add to the price, right?
Sometimes you bring the property up to the same
standard of what it should have
as
been.
existing properties.
Actually, 90% of the time is what happens.
Need. Purchased in a higher priced area. Original purchase price was too high. Lacked factual data. This is what we're getting at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bargaining room. They think they want to leave some bargaining room. The move isn't necessary, so they're really not motivated. It's a corporate buyout, foreclosure. Role of a realtor in pricing. There's no exact price for real estate. I do not tell you what your home is worth.
That's interesting. Don't we get that question all the time? What's my home worth?
So I do this. Nelson probably does this too. I get calls saying, what do you think that property's worth? And I come up with more of a strategy, say, I think you should list it for this or list it for that, and the reasons why. I can't tell them what it's going to sell for. I have no idea.
They think
Nelson's
that we know
more,
them.
a little more detailed. You come in with, and you're pretty good with your numbers and that. So, the market determines the value. We determine the price. I bring the market. The market brings your price. I'll show you a range of prices being paid for homes in your area. So there we go. So if they think they're overpriced, then you have to say what's available right now that they can buy in that same price. Why would I buy yours when I can buy this guy with the double car garage? You got one garage. Right? You determine the price based on the factors you control: marketing, time, financial alternatives provided, condition, exposure methods. So here's, I didn't do the good one.
I've got some of those.
You save the best for last. It's the best for last.
Is that the overpriced one?
Yeah. Yeah. What happened?
Actually, the one I have is I combined the two.
Okay.
So this is the history of the home. You're going to show this one or yours? Show this one.
I think yours is different than mine. I've got my own charts. Wait, let me see. Which one's that?
This is what happens to an overpriced
Oh, yeah, I've got
listing.
that one. Oh, except they can't see it here.
So in this case here, they've overpriced it and time. So over a period of time, then they've knocked the price down. Over a period of time, they knocked the price down. Over a period of time, knocked the price down till it finally sells.
Yep.
So that's a pretty simple chart, this one, right? But what if you went to your HPI and you noticed that prices aren't going up, the prices are coming down? 3%, 2%, not much. And what is going on today is that after you've done your HPI, you've established it's a market trend going up or a market trend going down? For that particular listing I'm talking about, right? But so the trend is going down. So on this one here I just explained, I'm going to mark this up. The market value is consistent, right? The market value in this graph is horizontal.
It's a balanced market.
What if the market value was this? If I can see that. What if the market value was dropping?
You're gonna be on the market for a long time.
That means this is what's called chasing the market down. This is a classic amount where they want to take little nibbles. The market's going down 3%, they want to take a little nibble. 10,000, 5,000, instead of like 50,000, 5,000, a little nibble. And the market, the longer they wait, it's going down. The longer they wait, it's going down. So now they're chasing the market down till they finally get here. So now rather than being 60 days or where it might be, now it's going to stretch out to 120 days and the price is going to be less than had they sold it day one.
And this is based on history. This is fact. This is not just like our...
So what I'm teaching you, I just want you guys to understand how to word these. What are you going to do? Practice it. Do it. Understand what I'm saying here and explain to your clients this is what's going on in this marketplace.
Yeah, because this is going to be our market, I think, right?
The good thing is the house that they're going to buy, hopefully, is doing the same thing.
That's right.
House they're buying is dropping the same way. So the spread's always there. The spread is always there. Doesn't really matter because the house they sell and the house they buy is going to be in the same market. So it makes no difference. So, but time is important. So pricing is critical.
So along those same lines, what if you had a buyer that really wants to lowball, like really truly lowball a seller and is looking for a deal? How do we now get our buyers to also pay market value and not shop around for a year or 2 years? It's totally different, right?
I was reading on lowball offers a little bit. Have you guys ever heard of a BATNA? BATNA?
For a decision
They call
making?
it the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And they said if you do have buyers that are looking to do lowball offers, you should be looking with people that have sellers that are basically, I think they have a low BATNA. Let me read this.
So you're looking for the right seller, basically.
Yeah, so a seller with a strong BATNA might have another buyer lined up, or they may not need to sell urgently, and they can rent out their property or stay put. Those are sellers that will not be negotiating a lowball offer. A seller, though, that has a weak BATNA might have already purchased a home and have like an urgency to sell. Those are the types of people that a lowball offer will work with. So you have to kind of pay attention to these things, or when you're talking to listing agents, if you can figure out the story, or if you guys see that there's a closing date in particular where it says closing date, doesn't say TBA, it says June 2nd, or like if you guys see immediate closings and stuff like that, or maybe you can see that they've purchased a property, that's someone that a lowball offer would work with. But if it's someone that hasn't bought a property, has some money, the lowball is not going to work. But the buyers may also have a BATNA. So a strong BATNA, they may have multiple properties, they're investors, they can walk away because there's lots of properties on the market. First-time home buyer, they're a low BATNA because there's lots of things to choose from, there's no rush, and they can afford to be selective. Although there may be a buyer that's actually sold their property and they're on a tight deadline as well. So are you talking about maybe receiving?
No, I'm trying to talk about buyers. Because I want to offer $400,000 under asking, and you were kind of embarrassed. Like you know it's not going to win, you know it's low, but do you entertain them, or how do you talk to them?
So I would say if you're working with a buyer like that, then you need to be very picky on the properties that you show these types of people. Because if they're going to be the types of buyers that are going to always be lowballing on everything, then we need to be taking them to the properties that the seller needs to sell.
Yeah.
If they're a buyer trying to go after every property, and this is a guy that's got a lot of money, he doesn't need to sell, those lowball offers aren't going to work. So there's no point in even showing those properties to these types of people. But yeah, there's a lot of different things. There's so many factors happening with both sellers and buyers right now.
Yeah, because what I'm fearing is that buyer agents are going to be running around for a year or 2 years, and again, running around with people that are confused, that don't know how to make decisions, and think that they're going to get a deal when really the market's still going to be market value, even for the buyers too. So we also have to help them make decisions that go back to their goals, and why are they buying, why are they looking in the first place. I think the investor type person's not really out right now. So these are people that presumably want to live in a house and make some changes, right?
Yeah.
Some cases are tough. The example I gave here, the fellow's asking over $900,000 for a 700 square foot place. Seems pretty high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Anyway, so If you got a listing sitting there, don't be shy and be proactive. Don't have your clients phone you first. You phone them first.
Yeah, and don't be scared to take listings. as
Even
well.
when you phone them and say, look, nothing's happened in the last week. So what can I say?
But that's why it's good to send them like stuff. Like send them something. Don't just say there's no update. Just say, or no update is the update.
Yeah, or-
Send them a text saying there is no update. I've been watching. No one has sold.
Or we've had
this is what's going on.
had another 50 people look at it at Realtor.ca or something like that.
5
Show-
more
show
listings
some
went up in the
activity.
neighborhood. Like let people know what's going on. Don't just ignore them and be scared.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. It's a lot of pricing.
That's good though.
The one Bloor West.
Yeah, what's happening with it now?
They finally they're still building it there, and it's finally now that today the tallest building in Canada. It's gonna be the tallest building in Canada for about 2 weeks. and the one at one Yonge Street, that's gonna be higher, and they're about 2 weeks behind. So. So I think Tridel took over that project, and they're trying to speed it up so they can make that claim, but the other building's catching up. So.
True.
Stock market is okay. I checked this morning. That's good.
It's what?
CPI.
That's why it's good.
It's closed? No.
I'm talking about TSX. Yeah, and the TSX is fine. Unfortunately, but there's something going on there that we don't like. Ferran can talk about this, and that's the bond rates going up. Bond rates are going up in the U.S. and Canada too, I believe, right? So we had a 1.7% CPI, 1.7% cost of living was okay, but energy went down 18% because of the carbon tax. I can't believe the carbon tax was that much. Well, I know I wasn't paying attention, but it went down, what, 20 cents a liter or something crazy. I had no idea it was that much. But we each got a check back, didn't we? Didn't we get a check back for
Last week.
carbon, whatever else? I'm not sure it was 20 cents a
On the
liter. or not.
15th?
I just put in yesterday's $1.65.
That's a premium.
Yeah, 91, but still.
The rest of us peasants don't want to take it.
So what do you think? So June 4th is the next rate announcement. What do we think?
I think that'd be a cut.
That'll go down.
Because USA did not go down, and Trump wanted to fire the guy for not. For,
Listing rate makes a difference in the market.
Not at 31,000 inventory.
Huh?
Not at 31,000.
the last one did nothing, but then again we got screwed up with external
You have to
politics,
tell the
right?
seller, look, when it was 5% rate, market was better. Now it's a half inch.
Is it structural?
I read
Wait for the interest rate to
I
go
read
down
stuff
and
where I read stuff where the people are saying the government should not reduce the rates because all they're doing is just feeding into this high cost of real estate.
Yeah.
They're contributing to the fact that they're maintaining prices high.
Yeah, we want prices to come down. And
Right?
Increase the
They're
rates.
not doing it to make higher real estate
So we can afford it,
so that people can afford to create jobs.
especially with the renewals
real
from
estate's
2020.
real estate's only a little percentage of the bigger picture, right?
Yeah. People can afford groceries and other
We
stuff.
disentangle them from the market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
What do you think? You think that'll be a cut?
I don't think there will be.
I think it might be another hold. I'm also reading that fixed might go up too.
It hasn't fixed
The
it.
fixed rates might start going
Well,
up.
because of bond rates. Because bond rates go up, fixed rates go up.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
Are you getting more like inquiries for mortgages, or is it more people they are losing their house?
It's a combination of everything, man. A lot of people don't refinance.
Also,
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Is it still like?
Guess we're done, huh?
Or like the appraisal?
Good.
I'll just go over a couple of reminders because our ADHD is starting to kick in. We're hitting the hour mark. I sent a little reminder last week about some common MLS infractions that I'm seeing. These are based on like real cases of like reports that I'm getting. A big popular one right now is text on top of images. I don't really think it even looks that nice. I don't agree with necessarily the rule and the fine that's associated with it, but it could be $1,000 to $50,000 they're threatening. If you do it over and over again, like if they're warning you and you're not doing it, that's when they'll go after you for the big fine. But you're not allowed to add like anything on top of your picture. There's a field in Realm where you can add text and that will show up as a simple black banner, but you can't put like a big red banner saying legal duplex or in-ground pool, or you can't add text to anything. It's not my rule. It just is what it is.
Sean Lip is gonna be pissed.
It's big in Oshawa.
Yes, it happens, and I know that it's all over. So I get that report a lot, but AI is scrubbing it. You will get caught at some point. I'm not being proactive and going after our own listings when it's in it, but you will most likely get a TREB complaint through me, and we'll fix it.
You know what I think is a good idea is putting the captions on the photos.
Yeah, in the
captions
text.
underground.
Yeah, utilize the field, the caption field.
Although I don't know if people really look.
Like I don't know, like if it says there, like you say, like principal bedroom, right?
Primary bedroom, yeah.
Primary bedroom, basement washroom.
It does help to kind of identify what the room is.
Like if you look at a downstairs kitchen, upstairs kitchen, like
Yeah.
if you sort of, because you're looking at the picture, you don't
You know if it's the main level, lower level.
you know what is main level, there's a second bedroom, first bedroom, like there's 4 bedrooms. What do? You count the bedrooms, or there's a blue one, a green one, or white? Like you have to count
Yeah.
them. If
Yeah.
it says first bedroom, second bedroom, like
Our general rule of thumb is fill out as much as you can in the MLS. Like fill out every single bubble, fill out every single box with a description. You have 3 little boxes for each room. Fill that all out. The more full and descriptive it looks, the nicer it looks online. I think it looks really professional when it's all done completely. They show up as a black banner. It's like black with white text, and it's in the bottom left corner. That's how it shows up online. It looks nice. I think it looks better than like a big, like, I don't know, when it doesn't match or anything. It makes it consistent. Something else that we kind of need your help with too, they did come out with MLS reporting. I mentioned this already a couple weeks ago. You have to report it sold or conditional within 24 hours of the next business day, which means we need your waivers and your amendments and everything that's required to update MLS in that time. I had the pleasure of filling in for Deal Admin this past week, and so out of that I get to see a lot of the things that are happening that the girls are not telling me. And some of you are very confusing, like you're sending the Deal Admin your own DocuSign and not really explaining what it is you're attaching. And I think the intent is like, hey, it's sold firm, I need you to update it, but there's no like context. It's just like an agreement with like an amendment, and it's like no context. Like give them some direction on what to do. Do you need it reported sold firm?
Yeah,
is it
like-
conditional? Like they're trained to read your agreements, and they will, but it just helps speed
make it
things up.
easy for them.
Like give them a little summary. Please report this as sold firm.
No.
Please, this is conditional now. Here's the waiver. It makes this
A transaction report would be a bonus.
So that's my second point.
Like that would be a really great.
No, it's not a bonus.
It's a requirement.
It is a requirement. We are not going to process your deals anymore without a transaction report.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call it out. I'm so sorry, Claire.
We can be mean like the other
I'm sorry,
brokerages
Claire,
that require
I'm sorry.
everything.
Claire's regime is a little different, okay?
Have you guys ever worked with another side and they said my brokerage requires this so I can get paid? We're gonna start doing that soon. We don't do that.
We need transaction reports right away. If for some reason the editable, fillable form is a little complicated, I don't know how to make it more simple. I'm open to ideas. If it's complicated, just send us a bullet text list of a summary of the deal. So it could be bullet points in text saying, I'm the listing agent. This is a cooperating agent. This is the data was accepted. It is now firm or conditional. Just do a little summary.
Right. That's why it's easier just to fill out the form instead of bullet point.
Transaction report is there to remind you. Some teams like Shiv have their own kind of summary. That's okay too, as long as it's the summary of information so that we're not digging through the paperwork trying to figure it out, because they will make mistakes and we'll correct those mistakes. We're human too, but we just really need your help to get organized. It's part of your job. It's why you get paid what you get paid. Claire hates when I use words like mandatory and must and like scary. He's like dying right now. But it's just gotta change. We have 450 agents. We have 200 listings at any given time. We are processing a lot of deals. We're actually doing very well in the market. We're trending a little ahead of what the Toronto market is doing, which is a good thing, but we've got 4 girls processing all of this paperwork. We just need a little bit of help to be more organized, and I am gonna put some more parameters around. We're not gonna process it or pay out if we don't know what we're doing. Okay, so MLS is one thing. We need information right away. And then in general, we need all your paperwork properly organized. We are gonna push SkySlope a little more. We have SkySlope right now. I've never forced you guys to go in and do your own SkySlope. We kind of do it for you. I'm going to give you more power to do it yourself. So there's people in this room, Mose, I think Alex, you said, we all kind of do SkySlope, but like the rest of the agents don't use it like that. And that's my fault because I haven't pushed it or trained you or educated you on it. So I'm going to do a little bit more of that, and that will give you some more freedom to update your own information in SkySlope. And with MLS updates, if you want to update them yourself, I don't mind giving you your own access. If for some reason giving us the information feels a little stressy and you just want to update it yourself, I'll give you the access to do it. As long as it's updated, it doesn't matter. We like to confirm that we have the deposit, but if you want to do your own thing and I give you some freedom, that's okay with me too, as long as it gets done. Sorry to be so scary. I know that wasn't that serious.
Very strict.
Sorry. I want you to get paid. I want everyone to get paid properly. I want all your lawyer stuff to be done. I want all your clients to have a smooth transaction. So that comes from paperwork. Cool.
All right, we got a few things happening.
Yes, we have a lot of fun
stuff. A lot
stuff.
of things happening.
When the market's down, we can just have more fun, right?
We try. Just to kind of go back last week, we had the Green Shield and the OWRP came in. I thought it was actually a really good webinar. So if you guys really do want to know a little bit more about your benefits, I now have my prescriptions being mailed out to my house every month for less than what it costs to go to Shoppers. So you can actually call them and like transfer all your meds to Green Shield. Thought that was a good one.
It is good, yeah.
They gave a lot of good tips on it. So I think I sent a link out. It is private. It's not on our YouTube because they wanted that protected. So if you want the link, maybe I'll send it out again today. Let's talk about the leads program. Whoever's in the WhatsApp group. The leads are fun, right? It's like a big race to the first one. It gets a little wild. But you know why I do it? Do you know why I do it though? I tested it out this week because this weekend I sent out a lead, an agent. A few of you guys private messaged me saying, think of me and send me a lead. So I did. I sent it to an agent who I felt bad. He was a little delayed on his response, but I sent it out to him. He was number 3. And hasn't even responded to me yet. Hasn't said, got the lead. That's why I don't send the leads out thoughtfully. I'm sending it out to whoever responds on the spot because I can send it directly to you and I know you're going to deal with it. That being said, we are going to be changing the leads program. It's going to be a monthly paid thing, a very small fee and we're going to have a whole separate group chat because it does get kind of overwhelming. So we'll probably be charging a small fee. I think it's like $25 a month. We'll have a separate chat. I'm going to have it more organized, hopefully so it's not just the first person. It's going to be a little bit more organized.
I want to qualify that too, just so everyone is aware. Just because somebody responds first doesn't necessarily mean Katelyn always gives that person the lead. Yeah. She does think about who has gotten them before and how many they've received that day, so there is some thoughtfulness. So it doesn't hurt to be second or third or fourth.
Sometimes I actually do have a couple of leads in there, and I'm only saying one buyer lead, but I might actually have 3, and sometimes
you never know. Some people are very
it.
good at responding, and the whole point is that we know that they're going to respond to the lead right away. Also, that has to happen, right? That's part of the rules.
So it will be a little bit more of a strict program. I'm going to go over all that. It's going to be real training. I'm going to have requirements of having presentations in place, scripts, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that probably the next month or so.
We'd like to beta test things. It's a little different than Claire. We like to
you guys were the beta in the WhatsApp
things out
chat
and figure it out, and then we make it a plan from there.
And if you're not in the WhatsApp chat, let me know so you can be in that.
And don't anybody think, gee, I'm missing out on all these leads here. Where am I? Blah blah blah.
Oh, you have all equal opportunity.
No, trust me. The leads themselves, you have to have a certain personality that has the capability of following up these leads for 9-10 months.
Yep.
A year even.
Nobody's going to phone these leads and buy tomorrow.
Yeah, people always say, oh, no one responded, no one picked up the phone, they didn't email me back. I'm like, well, yeah, but keep following up with them.
We're going to give some training though. It needs to go into your CRM. You have a follow-up system that'll be part of your training program.
Yeah. So more info on that. Other things, on Friday, we are doing Pilates. So we're bringing people to the Pilates studio. We had 14 seats. We have one available.
There's one spot
Claire,
available.
I think Claire should do it.
Shiv is going. I don't know where he went. Shiv is going to be there. Moral, Yusin.
Yeah, it's a small group, but if anyone wants to, we do have one more spot. I'll be sending out a note to those people. We've been doing Pilates, and I think it's a fun little workout in Pickering, so if anyone wants to test out something new.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
On Fridays?
Yeah. Yeah? Okay. We'll send those.
We'll give you the link.
I think Claire should come and film us personally. I think it'd be really fun. And then Jay's game, Century 21, I don't think they've sent out a link yet, but if any of you guys are interested.
Are we allowed to send that link?
I'm not sure. It was sent out to the managers group, but September 25th, Century 21, because we're not doing conference this year, they're doing a Jay's game on September 25th where you pay $150, you get a ticket, I think a free drink, appetizers, and you get a jersey as well. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out for it. I think they're doing a mastermind in the morning. They're going to do 2 mastermind sessions. So if you do want to add some learning to it, that's to encourage people to come from outside of Toronto.
It's to make it an expense.
And make it a business expense as well. So keep an eye for that.
Yes.
I think that's all I got.
7 p.m.
7.
So we'll try to organize something maybe for during the day, like in between the masterminds.
But it should be fun. It's going to be Century 21 people from all over Canada. Probably mostly Toronto people will be there, but it should be fun just to network and have some fun.
Yeah.
They rented out like a bar area, so we're not sitting actually. There's no chairs.
It'll be
It's
fun.
the bar.
Everybody should come. If you can come, we'll all be there. And then you can save the date August 13th for our golf day. Put that in your calendars as well.
Family day, golf.
August 13th. Family golf day. Or, yeah. Yeah.
September 25th.
We'll send it. I think we can send it out. We'll get
Yeah.
permission, and I know it's just starting this
They
week,
just
so.
sent out the link Friday. Okay, that was a long meeting. Sorry.
Okay, it's been a couple of weeks, so
And nothing Wednesday actually yet. I don't have a training session Wednesday, so we'll take a break.
we're just going to be here though, right?
I'll be here
If people
if
need
anyone
help
wants
with
to
anything,
come
if you
in.
want to talk anything through, we'll be here. I think we're going to focus for the summer on some wellness type stuff, right? If the market's a little slower, we'll have
Yeah,
some
might go
fun and
for
take
some
care of
walks.
ourselves. Market's still moving though, so it's not negative, right? Anyone have any listings you want to talk about?
Oh,
I'm gonna have a lovely renovated condo.
Yeah.
is it almost done?
Flooring's almost done. So
Okay.
Should be done soon.
Okay, that's in Scarborough condo.
Alex is really testing the market out,
Midland,
but
Eglinton, renovated.
okay,
$600,000.
All right.
Maybe.
almost renovated. So this is a flip in a way.
Yeah.
So a quick flip. We'll see if it works. Yeah.
Good. Anything else? Have anything to talk about? Claire, these last words? No, it's not a weird week, right? We're all on Monday, same. Okay, well, have a good week. We'll see you this week and next week.